Have you ever wondered where the English language comes from? Let's take a step back in time and explore the fascinating origins of English. Our journey begins with the Germanic languages, the ancestors of modern German and Dutch. These ancient languages spoken by the Germanic peoples of Northern Europe form the bedrock of English. But English is not a solitary island. Its evolution was influenced by a myriad of other languages. The most notable among these are the Romance languages, so named because of their roots in Latin, the language of the ancient Romans. Imagine, if you will, the early English speakers coming into contact with French speakers. This happened particularly after the Norman conquest in the 11th century. The French language at that time was considered more sophisticated and was the language of the ruling classes. It had a profound influence on English, adding a rich layer of new vocabulary and changing the very structure of the language. This fusion of Germanic and Romance elements created a unique language, one that was capable of expressing a vast array of ideas and emotions. It was a language that was robust and flexible, capable of absorbing new words and concepts and adapting to the changing world. But the story of English doesn't end there. Over the centuries, it continued to evolve and grow, influenced by the cultures and languages it came into contact with. This process of change and adaptation is still ongoing, making English a living, breathing entity. From these humble beginnings, English began its journey of evolution and growth. Stay tuned as we continue to explore the fascinating story of the English language. How did English evolve from its early roots to the language we know today? The journey of the English language is a fascinating tale of transformation and adaptation. It all started with Old English, a Germanic language brought to the British Isles by tribes such as the Angles, Saxons, and Jutes. It was a language of rich inflections and a complex syntax, vastly different from the English we speak today. The English language, however, is not a stagnant entity. It has been shaped and influenced by various cultures and historical events. One of the most impactful events was the Norman conquest in the 11th century. When William the Conqueror became the King of England, French became the language of the royal court and the upper classes. This influx of French words into English greatly expanded its vocabulary and marked the transition from Old English to Middle English. The Renaissance period further spurred the evolution of the English language. During this time, the revival of classical learning led to a massive influx of Latin and Greek words. This period also saw the birth of early modern English, the language of Shakespeare, which was characterized by a simplified grammar and an expanded vocabulary. The English language continued to spread and evolve through colonization and global trade. As the British Empire expanded, English was exported to various corners of the globe, absorbing words and influences from a multitude of cultures. This gave rise to different dialects and variations of English that we see today. In the late 18th and 19th centuries, the Industrial Revolution and the advent of public education led to the standardization of English grammar and spelling. This period marked the beginning of modern English, the language we speak today. Through these historical events, English evolved and spread across the globe. But the journey of English is far from over. As we move forward, English continues to evolve, adapting and changing to meet the needs of its speakers. It's a living, breathing entity that reflects our world's changing social, cultural, and technological landscapes. Did you know that English is not just one language but a collection of dialects? A dialect is a unique form of a language spoken by people from a particular geographic region or social group. It's marked by variations in pronunciation, vocabulary, and grammar. Let's delve into the three main categories of English dialects. British Isles, North American, and Australasian. The British Isles, the birthplace of the English language, hosts a vibrant array of dialects. From the refined tones of the Queen's English to the earthy lilt of the Yorkshire dialect, each region has its unique linguistic idiosyncrasies. The dialects here are not merely geographical, but also social, with distinct variations between classes. Crossing over the Atlantic, we find the North American dialects. American English, with its rhotic R and distinct vocabulary, is instantly recognizable. But even within American English, there's a wide spectrum from the twangy Southern drawl to the clipped New England accents. And let's not forget Canadian English, with its unique blend of American and British influences. Finally, we have the Australasian dialects. Australian English, with its distinctive nasal twang, is perhaps the most famous. But there's also New Zealand English, with its unique vowel shifts, and the less-known but equally fascinating dialects of Pacific Islanders. Everywhere English is spoken, it adapts and evolves, reflecting the culture and history of its speakers. In India and the Philippines, English has been blended with local languages to create new dialects, complete with their unique grammatical rules and vocabulary. In essence, English is not just a language, it's a living, breathing entity that morphs and changes with its speakers, influenced by their regions and social groups. The dialects of English are like a linguistic tapestry, each thread representing a different voice, a different story, a different perspective. These dialects showcase the rich diversity within the English language. What is Standard English, and how does it relate to other dialects? The term Standard English refers to the formal written form of the English language. It's the version you're likely to find in official documents, academic texts, and national newspapers. It's the English that is most commonly taught to non-native speakers, and it's the dialect that's used as a standard for comparison with other dialects. But what makes Standard English so standard? Well, it's not about superiority or prestige. Instead, it's about practicality. Standard English is a linguistic tool that allows for clear and effective communication across different regions, cultures, and social groups. Now, let's talk about global reference norms. When we say global reference norms, we're referring to the standards that are used as a benchmark for the English language worldwide. And when it comes to English, there are two main reference norms: British English and American English. These two forms of English have had a significant influence on the development and use of English around the world. They've shaped the way English is spoken and written in various countries, influencing vocabulary, pronunciation, and even grammar. Think of words like color and color, or center and center. These differences are a result of the influence of British and American English. But why these two norms? Well, it's a combination of historical, cultural, and economic factors. The British Empire's colonial past spread English to many parts of the world, and American global dominance in the late 20th and early 21st centuries further expanded the reach of English. So whether it's Canadian English with its Z instead of Z, or Australian English with its unique slang and accents, these dialects have been influenced by either British or American English, or sometimes both. In a nutshell, Standard English, with its British and American norms, serves as a guiding light for English speakers worldwide. It's a reference point, a common ground, and a tool for effective communication in our globalized world. Standard English, with its British and American norms, serves as a guiding light for English speakers worldwide. What does the future hold for the English language and its dialects? As we peer into the crystal ball of linguistics, we can make some educated predictions. English, like all languages, is a living, breathing entity, constantly changing and adapting. It's shaped by those who speak it, and in turn, shapes the cultures it permeates. The future of English will likely continue to see the evolution of its dialects, reflecting the diverse cultures and societies that use the language. Each dialect, from the highlands of Scotland to the bustling streets of Mumbai, contributes to the rich tapestry of English. These dialects are not just variations in pronunciation or vocabulary. They tell stories of migration, colonization, and globalization. Globalization and technology are key driving factors in this evolution. With the internet and social media breaking down geographical boundaries, new forms of English are emerging. Internet slang, for instance, is a fascinating example of how English dialects can evolve in digital spaces. Yet with this rapid evolution, there's a risk of dialects disappearing as Standard English becomes more widespread. This makes the preservation and understanding of dialects all the more vital. Dialects are reflections of our histories, identities, and communities. They provide a window into how societies change and adapt over time. In educational settings, there's a growing recognition of the importance of dialect diversity. An understanding of dialects fosters linguistic tolerance and encourages students to appreciate the richness and complexity of English. So, what's the takeaway? The future of English is not just about the language itself, but also about the people who speak it, their cultures and their histories. English will continue to evolve and adapt, shaped by the ever-changing world around us. As the world changes, so too does the English language, a testament to its enduring flexibility and vitality. So, what have we learned about the English language? We've journeyed from its roots in the Germanic languages, through its evolution enriched by influences from the Romance languages. We've explored the fascinating array of dialects, from those of the British Isles, North America, and Australasia, to unique adaptations in countries like India and the Philippines. We've examined the role of Standard English and global reference norms, and pondered the future of English and its dialects. Understanding the journey of the English language gives us a deeper appreciation for its rich diversity and remarkable evolution.